You have 2 minutes in order to do so.
Madam Mayor, councillors, I'm Bob Lister and I present a petition of 1,700 names who are vehemently against the proposed pay and display at Whitecliff for the following reasons. This is a heavily used sport in summer. Teams arrive to get the kids up for cricket at 1 o'clock with first ball at 2. Usually play continues until 7 or 8 o'clock. Far more than the 4-hour maximum stipulation.
There is no
Constitution is quite clear, Madam Mayor, that once a petition of 1,000 signatories is received, then it is open for debate this evening. Quite clear. I've had this discussion with Mr. Martin earlier.
Mr. Martin, would you like to advise on this?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Under the Constitution, when a petition is received that's over 1,000 signatures, it has to be placed on the agenda for debate, and that debate will come at item 8, which is the next item on the agenda. Well, I see Councillor Reed shaking his head, but that is my advice. So, item 8.
Madam Mayor, I must protest. Item 8, are you suggesting therefore that all 5 of these petitions are debated together, even though they discuss 5 completely separate areas of the pool, and they have indeed 1,000 different people on the petitions? It may as well just be a green bin petition, and a parking petition, and a yellow line petition. You can't debate them all together.
That you have heard Mr. Martin's advice.
It's advice, Madam Mayor, which you can override and offer these people their democratic right to have their petition debated.
I have no intention of overriding the legal advice of the 151 officer of this council, because he has the law hopefully at his fingertips, and it is his job to advise us. I'm not entering into that debate at the moment. We will come to item 8 on the agenda when you will have your opportunity to make a comment.
But, Madam Mayor, so
Sorry,
5 different times then, on 5 different petitions.
Councillor, I'm standing, please.
Not listening then, Madam Mayor.
Right. We come to the second petition against the interruption of pay and display at roads in Sandbanks, Cliffs and Branksome Park. Mr. Lister, would you like to please present your second petition?
Madam Mayor, councillors, I present this petition of 3,300 names, yet we have some 400 names which were available after the official cut-off time. All were strongly against the proposed pay and display scheme at roads adjacent to the beaches for the following reason. The scheme is proposed to reduce congestion. The first way to do so should be better use of existing assets, particularly the Beach Road and Branksome Dean car park. They are poorly signed. Visitors do not know they are there. Better use reduces congestion and raises extra revenue. Road safety £1 million? No one knows yet. If people actually use them, it will be 4 to 6 years as a realistic payback. It will be the death of Brownsea for National Trust, Dorset Wildlife Trust, also churchgoers at the Church of Transfiguration. Most of the restaurants, cafes and hotels affected employ staff on minimum wages going from Bournemouth. This is seen as purely as a revenue-raising exercise. I urge you to vote to reject this ill-thought-out proposed parking scheme before more time is spent on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lister. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we don't need any interruptions. No, Councillor Brown, I'm not taking members at the moment. If you wish to raise a point of order, I need to know which point of order you're raising.
Yeah, the point of order is under Part 4 of the Constitution, Council Rules of Procedure, Appendix 1, Section Little Roman 14, where a petition contains more than 1,000 signatures of people within the borough or working within the borough. The subject matter will be placed on the agenda of the next ordinary council meeting for debate. That has happened, it's been presented, it's on the agenda, I'd like to debate it.
Mr. Martin has already advised you that the parking issue falls outside that regulation. I will ask him to repeat his advice. I'm sorry, members, please. Councillor Brown, you know the procedure, you sit when the mayor is standing.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The advice that I've sought to place with regard to these matters and the petitions that are in front of the council tonight. What I have explained, but I'm quite happy to explain here in front of members of the public as well, is that the council, because of the functions regulations, and we are getting a little bit detailed here, but the regulations that specify which part of the council can take which decisions, the functions regulations mean that parking charges are a matter for the cabinet to decide. So whilst the council can debate the petitions tonight under the constitution and can make some decisions or some recommendations, it cannot make the decision on the parking charges. So if any thoughts or motions are made tonight with regard to parking, they will go back to the Review and Scrutiny Committee on the 24th of May, which will make recommendations to the Cabinet, which will consider the matter in due course. Okay,
Thank you very much. May I ask Mrs. Bullock and Ms. Parsons to present their petition? And again, ladies, you have 2 minutes between you to make your presentation to council.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We, the Friends of Hamley Park, object to the proposal by the Borough of Poole to charge for car parking and the proposed 4-hour maximum stay on Hamley Borough Park, public open space. For over 85 years, Hamley Park has been enjoyed by generations throughout the borough, free to enter, free to park and free to play. The proposal to charge for car parking, even starting with a minimal payment, will penalise those who visit the park daily to deliver and collect school children, to use the play equipment, paddling ball, or windsurfing, dog walking, exercise, and for those who come just to kick a football, play tennis, kite flying, or a game of cricket or round.
Of public open space and must again be refused.
Thank you very much, ladies. Very well presented. And now may I ask Mr. Ely to present his petition?
Madam Mayor, council members, I have a petition from Poole Harbour Canoe Club that this petition has been signed by the general public who are concerned about the parking charges at Lake Pier, and there are 1,400 signatures on the petition. You have a duty and an aim which you state as being the well-being and health of the people of Poole, and we're very glad that that is the prime duty of the council, and that is also our aim. Now, what weighs on your minds is the forthcoming budgets, the costs, and I know in particular the cost of social care, which is a rising expense to the council, and I believe it's becoming a major expense to the council in the forthcoming years. As a charity, the club are very glad to see that you exercise financial responsibility. It's very important. The budgets must balance, money must be found, services must be paid for. The voluntary sector, of which the Canoe Club is part, are a tremendous resource for the council, a tremendous resource for the people of Poole. There's a huge well of goodwill out there. Sometimes you might be surprised, but just this last weekend we had a large work party at Lake Pier, clearing and seeding the ground, and other groups were there as well. I noticed that the Dorset Wildlife Trust were clearing litter with a group of volunteers from the beach there. All volunteers, unpaid, working for the community. In times of financial trouble, this is tremendously valuable. It should be nurtured. Volunteering.
Mr. Ely, can you wind up?
Okay. There is a cost to volunteering. The parking charges will impose a cost on our coaches, a cost that is greater than we charge for our courses. To apply charges to the parking will be counterproductive. It may immediately hit the measurable balance sheet, but behind that you're undermining the people who are actually saving your costs in the future. You're undermining the actual foundations of
Mr.
community
Ely,
spirit.
I'm sorry, I do have to stop you there. I've allowed you to run over time. I'm sure members have heard what you've said, and the
Madam Mayor, councillors, my name is Zach Burbank. I'm a resident here in Poole. I'm here to hand a petition with 4,227 names on it. Nearly 2,000 are Poole residents, however the majority are from Dorset and the rest are visitors to the Poole beaches. The petition is to stop the plans of introducing pay and display machines near the beaches of Sandbanks, Camper Cliffs and Frankston. May I start by saying that my grandmother, who is 88 years old, has been going to Camper Cliffs most of her life and still enjoys swimming nearly every day in the summer. We now have 4 generations who enjoy the beach. We, like many families in the Poole Borough, cannot afford to go abroad on holiday, so instead take advantage of the beautiful area in which we live. This proposal, if implemented, will seriously affect the normal people who live in Poole, who already pay more for rent and mortgage payments than most in the UK, and we do so to enjoy where we live. Those who are lucky enough to live within walking distance of the beach will be affected, but it is going to be the other residents who will be hit the hardest. So this plan has been completely rejected by the residents of Poole, so another solution has to be found. It is wrong to charge residents to swim on the beach, or to go for walks on the promenade, participate in water sports, or even just playing in the sand. You should be encouraging people to become more active and healthy. These plans do the complete opposite. This petition is not to lower the amount of charge, or to reduce the payment hours. It is to stop any plans for pay and display machines near our beaches. We are not looking for a compromise in this regard. I urge you to listen to the residents who elected you, who undeniably say, do not allow these pay and display machines to become a reality.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burbank. May I thank all those who presented their petitions so ably this evening, and the signatories to the petitions for their presentations and interests. Chief Executive, would you advise, please, what will now happen to the petitions?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As has been advised, the petitions will be referred to the Place, Overview and Scrutiny Committee for consideration and debate on the 24th of May 2016 and are referred to at item 8 on the agenda this evening.
Thank you very much, and I am advised that all elected members are invited to that meeting, and I believe the presenters of the petitions are also, of course it is a public meeting, so you may all attend if you wish, but I believe the presenters of the petitions might also be invited to speak briefly at that meeting. I think that's correct. So was advised by the chairman, is that right? Yes? Okay. Thank you very much. Now we move on to item... Sorry, yes, Mr. Reid.
Councillor Reid, Madam Mayor. I wonder if you just advised members of the public that the Overview and Scrutiny Committee is a public meeting. I think you'll find this meeting open to the public rather than a public meeting. And I would also suggest, Madam Mayor, that you may well wish to host it somewhere other than the committee suite, where there is only 100 people that can get in. One would think with 10,000 people signing these 5 petitions, there is significant public interest in the workings of the Place, Overview and Scrutiny Committee. And I might suggest it will be held at the Lighthouse, Madam Mayor.
I thank you for your advice. The chairman of the committee will make that decision in due course. Right, we move on, please, to item 7, public questions, Council. Is that right? Have I missed one? That's fine, thank you. Mrs. Jenny Dennett.
I do have a question. Poole's Cabinet will shortly be making a decision on 3 proposals to extend charges in roads close to Poole's beaches and introduce parking charges at 5 parks and up to Country Park. In theory,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, and I would invite you to start again. I would ask members, please, not to be conversing and having conversations when a motion or a petition is being presented to the council or a question. Thank you. Sorry, do start again.
Poole's Cabinet will shortly make a decision on 3 proposals to extend charges in roads close to Poole beaches and introduce parking charges at 5 parks and up to Country Park. In theory, decisions on these proposals can be made
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank Mrs. Southgate for her question. You refer in your question to, in theory, the decision on these proposals can be made by Cabinet alone. May I advise that unless the budgetary sum anticipated to be collected from car parking charges exceeds £500,000, the level at which Council's financial regulations require a Council decision, car parking charges are an executive function, and as such, a decision can only be made by the Council's Executive Cabinet. Its meetings are, of course, open to the public. The formal results of the car parking consultation will be presented to the cross-party place overview and scrutiny committee, currently scheduled for the 24th of May 2016, again open to the public. Its recommendations will then be presented to the Council's Cabinet for decision. The Cabinet meets monthly and again is open to the public.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Dennett, do you have a supplementary question?
I would just like to ask then, does that mean that it can't go to full council?
I have taken legal advice from the monitoring officer on that, and yes, it does mean that it can't go to full council.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much for the presentation of petitions. We now move on to strategic issues and agenda item 8. The decisions required by the Council acknowledges the petitions and asks the Place Overview and Scrutiny Committee to include these in response to the consultation on parking charges in the borough's parks and proposals to extend on-street trains play parking in roads close to Poole's beaches, and ask the portfolio holder for transportation, public health and commercialisation to include the Wycliffe petition in his consideration of representations for the formal advertisement of weighting restrictions in Sandbanks Road.
Madam Mayor, surely somebody must be proposing this, mustn't there?
Secretaries. Thank you very much, Councillor Rabbit.
There is a proposal not running to speak on this issue.
Not necessarily. You may wish to speak later. Then you wish to speak, Councillor Eames.
Madam Mayor, I must express again my distaste at the way this has come about this evening. The Constitution is quite clear that where a petition has 1,000 signatures on it, it is up for debate at the relevant council meeting. If this were 5 separate petitions on 5 separate topics, we would have an opportunity to speak to each of the petitions. Making us speak in 3 minutes to 5 petitions, and it's the only chance that we will get, as the leader has just refused this to come back to council. I have to advise members of the public here that not only will the 4 petitions be decided upon by Cabinet alone, the one that Mr. Lister refers to on Sandbanks Road will be decided by one person alone. The portfolio holder, this is relevant, Madam Mayor, I'm talking on transportation issues.
You are not talking to agenda item 8. You are talking on your opinion of the process. If you could stick to agenda item 8, please, I would appreciate it.
Well, Madam Mayor, I fail to see how the process that's required in decision 2, I'm not speaking to the process. In the title of this is Yellow Lines in Sandbanks Road. I just advise members of the public here that the decision upon Yellow Lines in Sandbanks Road will be taken by the portfolio holder alone. So 1 out of 40 members. Madam Mayor, you cannot rule that out of order. That is relevant to the topic. The cricket, in my vastly reduced time.
As you know very well, we stick to debate on the topic, and nothing you have said so far refers either to agenda item 8 as it appears on the main agenda, or the report that is behind it. So if you could please address your comments to that, I would appreciate it.
Madam Mayor, I'm going to read you the title of agenda item 8. Consultation on parking charges in parks, Camber Cliff, Sandbanks and double yellow and double yellow lines in Sandbanks Road. I'm sorry. In my vastly shortened time, which you've now shortened even further, the Cricket Club has a specific objection to the parking charge at Whitecliff. As Mr. Lister quite eloquently stated, our cricket matches that go on every Saturday in the summer take at least 7 hours, involve at least 11 home players and 11 away players, all of which, of course, are visitors to the borough. And fans, there's going to be at least, Mr. Lister, and around Sandbanks Road, at least 25 extra cars looking for somewhere to park on a Saturday afternoon. As the petitions, all the petitioners said, Madam Mayor, this is nothing other than a revenue-generating exercise. And I must repeat again, you've told members of the public here that the Overview and Scrutiny Committee is a public meeting. It is most certainly not a public meeting, and only the lead petitioners may speak, you advise of that, but surely, Madam Mayor, there will be many thousands of people involved and interested in the debate that goes on, and this cannot be held in the committee suite where only 70 to 80 people are allowed in. It's a recipe for disaster, and I urge the chairman of that committee to move it to a room at the Lighthouse at least, so at least anyone who wants to hear the debate can hear it.
Thank you very much. I allow you an extra half a minute to compensate for the interruption. Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To really reiterate what my colleague had said, actually, I will speak to the agenda item 8, but I do feel it's completely unconstitutional that we are given 3 minutes to debate 5 separate petitions signed by in excess of 10,000 residents of Poole, and to try and cover all those different topics. And I think there are different petitions dealing with different issues about the voluntary sector, about double yellow lines, about beachfront owners, all those sorts of things. It's impossible for us to have the one opportunity of 3 minutes to discuss that. I think it's complete wrong interpretation of the Constitution. You're trying to stifle debate on an issue of public interest. I think that's a real The corporate strategy of this authority, as you'll know, as we debated it, I think it was in February full council meeting, and we agreed it, 4 priorities in the council's corporate strategy. Number 1 priority, promoting the health and well-being of our population, especially the most vulnerable. Number 2, ensuring all children and young people have a chance to achieve their full potential. Number 4 there, protecting and enhancing Poole's beautiful environment in a sustainable way so it's a great place to live, work and play. It'd be nice if it's a great place to live, work and play, but if we can't afford to visit it because we're being priced out of using the car parks, then that's no good having that as a corporate strategy. This is, as my colleagues have said, it's purely revenue raised. We are here to improve the health and well-being of the people of Poole and improve the town. As was said in the prayers, right at the start of our meeting, I refer to the words in the prayers, we're here for the commonwealth and prosperity of our town. It's the commonwealth and prosperity of our town, not the prosperity of the borough council. And that is all this is doing. It's improving the prosperity and the funding and the revenue of this council, and not of the town. We're here for the prosperity of the town, and these decisions regarding the car parking and the WO lines go against the corporate strategy of this authority. And go against why we're here, as we said in the prayers at the beginning of the meeting. I would like to propose an amendment to these decisions required. We have 3 decisions there, 1, 2 and 3. And I'd like to support a question, the public question that was raised just now. I disagree with the leader of the council and chair of the cabinet that this cannot go to full council. This can eminently go to full council if full council decides it should do. The full council is the overarching body. The cabinet is not superior to the full council. Therefore, I'd like to propose a small agenda item 4 that this be brought back to full council for the final decision. Because of the level of public interest.
Thank you. Right, so the amendment is the addition of number 4, but this, I'm not here to stifle debate in any matter whatsoever. Many of us have a great deal of sympathy with matters before us, but we have to deal with it in the correct manner, and it will be fully debated at the appropriate Overview and Scrutiny Committee on the 24th of May. Now we have to address ourselves only to the amendment that this be brought back right to call council for final decision. Does anybody wish to discuss that further, or shall we go straight to the vote? Councillor Eads.
I know, Madam Mayor, you wish to rush this through and you wish to take it straight to decision. I sympathise with your view. But Madam Mayor, we take a wholly different view from you, and we take a different view from the Leader of Council. You
I'm
told
sorry,
us.
I take exception to that. You do not know what view I hold.
Well, they run to a huge length and they're often updated. My understanding is that if something says, if the functions regulations say that something is an executive function, i.e. a function of the Cabinet, it cannot purport to be taken by the Council, because that will not be lawful. So the Council cannot take a decision that is reserved to the Executive, and the Executive cannot take a decision that is reserved to Council.
And here we are as a council, not actually able to discuss with facts and figures and any information that issue. However, I am actually going to propose another amendment, slightly different from the one that went before, because I think it is right that this council should debate the issue, even if it is not procedurally allowed to make a decision. And I think this council